Hi class, welcome back to video number 2. I'm going to be making block number 2 in this video. Block number 1 was pretty simple. We basically made an L shape, we extruded it, made it three-dimensional, and then we obviously drew an orthographic drawing on the drawing tool as well. In this one, we're going to make a basic cube, 2 by 2, and then we're going to add a kind of 45-degree angled ramp-looking thing off the side. So we're going to show you how to extrude a feature off of a main block or a main part that we've already made. So as always, we're going to start new part, and we're going to start with that. We're going to start this 2D sketch in the XY plane typically, so we'll draw from the front view. Super simple here. All we're doing is making a 2 by 2 square. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool up here in the top. That makes it easy. We don't have to worry about screwing up our lines, going crooked. Everything's perpendicular, draws really fast. So click, drag, click again, and then we can go to the dimension tool. Let's click on one line here, and this is going to be 2 inches tall by 2 inches wide. And then we can click on the front to see we have our cube 2 by 2. At that point, we can finish our sketch. That's all there is to that one. I'll go up to my viewfinder, click on the corner, zoom out so I can see the entire block. I'm going to click on the extrude button here. And as I said before, it doesn't really matter, but I like to click on the flipped button here, flip it, draw it backwards. And then the distance we're going to extrude is 2. And we can see we have a perfect cube. All right, so I'm going to hit OK on that one right there. And we have our cube. I'll jump out there, zoom it in on my viewfinder one more time just to get the whole part in there. And now we're going to start a 2D sketch again. Now, this time when we start a 2D sketch, it doesn't give you the XYZ. We need to select one of these faces to draw off of. The face I'm going to select to draw off of is going to be this outside face because that will match our orthographic drawing. As I've said many times before, all the orthographic drawings can be found under the Canvas page. I got PDFs of all of them there. So I'm going to click on this face, and it's going to swing around and select, and we can draw in here. I'm going to go to my viewfinder, click on the right side because we're looking at the right side view, just to center that in there. And now I'm going to come on up, and we can draw, and we're going to be drawing on this surface on this side of the block because that's selected. So I'm going to come to the line tool here, and we're going to be adding an angle that goes across the block. Now you can see when I go here, it snaps to these lines. And so I can select some of these lines, or not select, but I can draw based on them. I'm going to come to the bottom until it turns to the little green dot in the middle of my pointer. And I'm going to click there, and I'm going to drag out until it snaps to the corner all the way across that green dot. I'm going to click again. Now I'm going to drag down, and I'm going to follow this line here. So we'll snap to, and I'm going to follow it until we get down to the other bottom corner. I'm going to click, and I'm going to follow over to the final spot, and I'm going to click again, completing that triangle. Now we can see I still have this here. I can hit escape, or the other thing, I don't even need to hit escape because all we're doing here is we're drawing that simple triangular shape. Super basic. Just go across, down, and complete it. We don't want to go up though, because if we look at the drawing, the triangle ramp looking thing is on the bottom of the part. So as long as we select the right side at the bottom of the part, we should be good to go. So I'm going to click on Finish Sketch, and it's going to scoop me out, and I should be able to view my sketch this way. At this point, to add the ramp, I need to click on the Extrude tool, and I'm just going to come up here, and it's going to say Extrude, and here's my whole box, but it's not going to have anything to extrude. What we need to do is select what we want to extrude. So I could theoretically select here. If I do that, it's going to want to do at the top, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to hit cancel here, or not do that. I'm going to go extrude, and we want to extrude the bottom here. So I can click on this green portion, and I'm going to click, and it's going to jump it out because it thinks that's what we're extruding, that portion. I don't want to go a full 2 inches out though. We only want to extrude 1 inch because our total length of our part is 3 inches, and our cube is already 2 inches by 2 inches. So I'm just going to type in 1 inch and hit OK. I'm going to zoom out here again, and we have our finished block in our isometric view. So whenever we finish a block, before we can make a drawing, we need to save that block. So this is going to be block number 2. Save it. So file, save as, block number 2, hit save. And then at this point, we can make a new file. So we're going to go up to the top, of course, top left, file, new, hover over it until the menu shows up, go to the right, and down to drawing. Select drawing, and wait for it to bring up the sheet. Now, just reviewing here, we've done this a couple times, should be pretty simple, but we need to go over, right-click on sheet number 1. We're going to go down to Edit Sheet, select Edit Sheet. Sheet size is going to be A4, and hit OK. And then we're going to right-click on the ANSI large border here, right-click, and delete. So we have our sheet. That would be the typical printer size we use at school. Now I'm going to click on the base view at the top. It's going to bring in my part, and this is going to give us the front view, okay? I'm going to drag that front view to the bottom left-hand corner as always. I'm going to go up with it, click, go to the right, click, and now I'm going to go up and to the right and click again. Don't need to change the scale. 1:1 is perfectly fine for this drawing, and I'll hit OK here. Just looking at my drawing here, I might click and move that a little bit further to the right here. I might move this down just a hair, maybe move that over just a hair. That looks pretty good there. I'll maybe move things after I add dimensions in as well. Go up to the top, click on Annotate. Let's select dimensions here, and let's start adding some dimensions. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do the length on our front view, okay? So we're going to add the length here, and we're going to click and drag there so we can see the general cube shape. You might notice that the top and the side view look about exactly the same. In theory, for this one, we're always going to stick with doing, or excuse me, the front, top, and side. It's just kind of what we do for all our drawings here. But to be totally honest, if you were drawing this and drafting this, you could get by with drawing this with just a front and a side view instead of adding the top view. We'll leave the top view in for now, though. Now we're going to add in the 3-inch total length. So we want to know edge to edge. We can't select because there's a break here, so we have to click on one edge all the way over, click on the other edge, and then drag up and click again. Okay, so now we have those two measurements. If you look at the orthographic drawing on the Canvas notification, that's what you want to have so far. Now we need to give the width and the height. We could do both of those on the side view here. I think that could get a little cramped. I could do the height even on the front view here, but since I have these two different views, I'm going to add the width on the top view, and I'm going to add the height on the side view here. So I can click, I can bring over, click again, click, bring over, click again. So nice and clean, lots of room, none of the numbers are cluttered, and they're easy to read. That's another thing to think about a lot with mentioning is making sure you put things in a place where it's easy to read them. You don't want the numbers to be on top of each other. If I hit escape here or ESC on my keyboard, we don't want drawings to look something like that. It's hard to read. Make them nice. Use the space you have. If you got the room, take it so that you can read everything nicely. I might shimmy that in just a little bit that way, bring that down, and maybe we'll move this over and down a little bit so it's more in the open. But this is the finalized drawings. We have all the dimensions we need where someone could go and make this part. And that's always the goal of drafting, is get all the dimensions needed to make a part or physically make a part. When you're done, File, Save As. Save is the same name. And as always, you will turn these in person to me. I'll come around and I'll have you pull them up and I'll check you off for them. If you have any questions, let me know during the class while you're working on them, and I'd be happy to answer anything you might have. Good luck drafting.